Today, the Supreme Court delivered one of the most consequential rulings of its term, and a major defeat for President Trump. In a 6-3 decision, the justices struck down his attempt to end automatic birthright citizenship, reaffirming a constitutional guarantee that has stood for more than a century. Here's the backstory. On his very first day back in office, President Trump signed an executive order trying to deny citizenship to babies born on U.S. soil if their parents were in the country illegally, or even legally, but only on temporary visas. It was an aggressive bid to reverse a principle most Americans assume is settled. If you're born here, you're a citizen. That assumption is rooted in the 14th Amendment, ratified after the Civil War, which says that anyone born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof is a citizen. For more than 125 years, a landmark 1898 Supreme Court ruling has interpreted that language to apply broadly, covering nearly everyone born on American soil, regardless of their parents' status. Trump's order never actually took effect. Every single lower court that examined it, district courts and appeals courts alike, found it unconstitutional. So the case landed at the Supreme Court, where Trump himself attended oral arguments back in April, becoming the first sitting president to do so. Today, the Chief Justice wrote the majority opinion, joined by the court's 3 liberal justices and one of the court's conservatives. The majority found little historical support for the administration's reinterpretation of the citizenship clause, emphasizing that the amendment's authors deliberately wrote it in broad terms. A 6th justice agreed the order couldn't stand, but for a narrower reason, ruling it conflicted with a federal statute Congress passed decades ago, rather than the Constitution itself. The court's 3 remaining conservative justices dissented sharply. One dissent, running more than 90 pages, argued the majority had misread the historical record and questioned whether the ruling would hold up over time. Another called the decision a serious mistake, warning it preserves an incentive for people to enter the country illegally. Reaction came fast. The civil rights legal team that argued the case called it a reaffirmation of a fundamental American promise. President Trump, posting on social media, called the loss too bad for our country, but said he'd now push Congress to pass legislation limiting birthright citizenship instead, insisting no constitutional amendment is needed. Legal experts are skeptical Congress could go that far, given today's ruling rests on the Constitution itself, not just federal law. This marks the 2nd time this year the Supreme Court has struck down a major piece of Trump's agenda, after blocking his sweeping tariffs back in February. For now, though, the rule stands exactly as it has for generations. Birth on American soil means American citizenship.